Hey, so I know it's been a while, but there's been a lot of changes since the last time I made a video like this, and I thought it was time to talk about them and kind of talk about my plans for this channel. Some of them are definitely a bummer, more on the life side of things. Some of them are more exciting, especially on the channel side of things. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and let's talk about what's changed, I guess. So the first big change that you might have noticed if you've watched my last few vlog videos is that I'm in a relationship now. I have a boyfriend named Travis. We've been dating for about 2 years now. He went hiked the Appalachian Trail and finished his Triple Crown while I was off hiking the Western Wander route, and then we moved in together. So that's been one kind of big change, is just learning how to live with another person, and definitely being productive living with another person, making videos, things like that. I kind of wanted to get this up and going about a year ago now, but I was just really busy with life and trying to figure out how to make things work. Kind of along that line of balance, especially work-life balance, and I'm still teaching, living in Durango. I've also been really busy with freelance work. I've been doing a lot of gear reviews and writing about them, particularly for the company Clever Hiker, but for some other companies as well. So that's been kind of hard to balance, but the nice thing is I've learned a lot from that, and I have a lot to share from that I think can be helpful. The biggest change that I have not been looking forward to talking about is that after we finished the Colorado Trail last summer, Primo's doing so well. She was 11, still hiking 20-mile days even after we finished. Just loved hiking. And then over Labor Day weekend, started out just fine, and then we were hiking up to this pass and she just started stopping and standing on the trail, and we turned around, it got much better. And then the next day, by the end of the day, she just was really, really wobbly, and we called off our hike thinking, maybe it's a back problem or something. Gave it a week, it didn't really get much better. So we took her into the vet and found out that she was really, really sick. And living in a remote area, it takes some time to get some of the lab results back and that kind of thing. We also don't have any overnight care facilities in this area. And within the span of 2 weeks from when she first started wobbling, she was gone. It's been one of the hardest things I think I've had to deal with in a long time. And definitely a really big change. It's been really quiet around the house without her, and just a really big struggle. Spent a couple months just with Skittles, and it just really felt wrong on my end. And her breeder, who I'm really good friends with, had been asking me to take a puppy since before she passed away in August, and I was like, well, no, I already have 2 dogs. And then I went to visit her because I really needed a dog fix in November, and ended up bringing home Bricks. It's been good overall. He is a puppy, and so he can be a little bit of a knucklehead sometimes. Definitely an adjustment to our hikes since he's still growing, doing a lot of training. It's been kind of hard starting over mentally a lot of ways. You'll notice that he does look very similar to Prima since they are related. Prima's his great aunt, which is good and bad. On one hand, I love that he has a lot of the same mannerisms and just fills that hole in the house. On the flip side, it can be a little bit confusing for me when I'm editing videos and things like that, and just how I feel about that, guilty or not. Some of you might also feel kind of confused, so if you're ever which dog is that, just feel free to ask, I guess. Yeah, so that's Bricks. One thing you should know about Skittles is, above and beyond dealing with everything with Prima, Skittles has been losing hair for several months now. It just started out as not growing back, and then the patches got bigger. Took her into the vet in November, just having this feeling something's wrong, and everything came back fine. Kept getting worse. So we've been in the process of trying to get her diagnosed. At this point, it's looking like it's probably Cushing's disease, but it's very hard to diagnose for sure. So that might not be it, but yeah, we've been at the vet a lot the last 6 months. So I'm hoping we can figure out what's going on with her and that we can get her on the mend, but for right now, her favorite thing is just hiking on the trail. So yeah, those are kind of the big life updates. There's been a lot going on, especially the last 6 months to a year. So that's kind of part of why I've been a little bit MIA, is just dealing with a lot of things. As far as channel updates go, I am super excited to start putting more time into my channel. It's something I've missed a lot. I've been doing the vlogs, but kind of sporadically, and so I'd like to make more educational content. I love education and helping other people learn to backpack. It will still be an adjustment. There might be weeks where I miss one because it's just really busy, working like a job and a half, plus hiking, backpacking, plus dogs. So if I miss one, please forgive me. I'll try to update if I know I'm gonna miss one. My current release schedule is planned to be educational videos on Wednesdays, and then my vlog videos on Fridays. There might not always be vlog videos on Fridays if I don't have one. I do have a really big backlog though at the moment, so there should be one every Friday for the next 6 months probably. But there might be some where there isn't one just if I haven't gone recently. Speaking of educational videos though, I have a couple lined up to kind of get us going, but I'm definitely taking requests. So if there's something that you want to see, then now is definitely the time to let me know. Since I kind of haven't done much recently, and I'm getting back into it, this is kind of the chance to make this channel what you want it to be. If you're watching this video, it's obviously because you're one of my dedicated people, and so I would love to put out what you want to watch. So if there's a topic that you would like me to cover, then I'll try to get that in the next month or so. And then along that vein, if there's anything that you would like to see above and beyond videos, I have all these great ideas, it's just making them happen sometimes, or trying to decide what's the best use of my time. So, I'm open to things if there's things that you guys would like to see. For example, I've thought about doing lessons, either virtual lessons on topics like orienteering. I've thought about doing one-on-one lessons, getting my Patreon up and going for reals this time, Q&A style videos. I've even considered interviewing hikers, not really getting into the podcast realm, but for topics that are pretty niche that there's just not a lot of information, like interviewing other people that have thru-hiked with dogs. So those are all things I've thought of, but if you think of something else, again, I'm super open to ideas at this point. I can't promise that things will happen right away, but if a couple people say, hey, we want to see this, then I will do my best to make it happen. Definitely the next 6 months is kind of what I'm hoping to get things up and going. So yeah, it's a lot. Thanks for sticking with me up to this point. Give me your feedback, and then other than that, I'll plan to see you guys on Friday with my first Colorado Trail thru-hike video. And then from there, I'll have a series of Colorado Trail videos on Fridays, and then moving into some of my weekend trips from this past fall and winter, and then educational videos on Wednesday. So thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you guys around.